we're going to get back to the question in just a moment. But now, we'd like to welcome Tim back to the show.
Hey
Tim,
guys,
how are you?
good to see you guys.
Nice to see you yet again.
Cool.
Yeah,
Great to be here. And today we're going to talk about resonance.
All right. Residence.
Yeah. Like you were saying.
Yeah, I live in a residence.
Yes, exactly.
But I don't think it's the same thing.
Not exactly. It's going to be actually standing waves or vibration.
Okay.
And a great way to show that standing wave is, well, we'll show you.
Okay.
We'll take this metal rod,
All right.
and I'm going to hit it up here, and I should be able to hold onto it.
Cool.
And I'm holding on it at the node.
Okay.
With a wave, if we hold in the center, it stops.
Right.
Wave, it goes back and forth along a line here, and it's the amplitude, whether it's high or low. And where it's the least amplitude is where the node is going to be. Whoops,
I see it vibrating all over the place. So now with a piece of rod that long, depending on how hard you hit it, you might have more than one node in there?
I'm not sure if it's that or more. The length of the rod is going to determine the length of the actual wave.
So you could do this like out in your backyard. You could take a rope, tie it, or a jump rope, tie it on one side of a fence, and you can shake the other
Absolutely.
end and create that same frequency
different
going.
frequencies.
Does it also matter, science guys, where you held that? Like if you held it down further and whacked it, would you get
good
more
question.
or less of a wave? Same?
Ooh, it's a lot slower, and it stops.
Yeah.
It
faster.
stops.
Why is that?
because-
Why does it stop?
Well,
in the center?
it's going to, as a standing wave, it's where the amplitude is the least or where it hits that line that goes across. The wave's going back and forth like this, and where it hits the line, you can take a look at it. We'll get it, I think it's right about there. You can see it wiggling, but right here, it's not wiggling.
Yeah,
And that's where the
interesting.
wave
So now when
actually
you grab that,
intersects.
if you slide your finger, you stop the wave.
That's right.
So is there a point, Tim, where you can hold it, where you can get the greatest view of a real
I
wave?
think
you
just about where I am right now.
there,
With
okay.
this, it's the length of metal. It will change where it's changed the
So
frequency of the
that's a
wave.
big wave because it's traveling that far through
to
there.
get to it. Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So it's pretty cool. So that's what resonance is. It's all about waves.
Cool.
But we've got something that's just as cool.
Blur.
Let me pull out
Yeah, we saw this earlier, yeah.
a little bit of, we'll set this bad boy down on the ground.
Alcohol.
So we don't have to deal with that.
All right.
This is our Chinese spouting bowl. Now there's Tibetan singing bowls. They look a little bit different, but this is the Chinese spouting bowl.
All right.
And the key with this is, let me see if I can find the
You got to get the
alcohol.
oils off your hands,
Oils
right?
off your hands.
Right.
We've got this little bowl, and
Doing
it's
that,
Because
yeah.
oil's a lubricant, right? You
Yeah,
put it in your
right.
car to keep things from generating heat.
and what I do is I take a little
There, and your hands, huh?
Cool.
end on my hands.
So
to
that'll
try
dry
to-
your skin out really good.
Oh yeah, and you'll find all those little cuts that you've got
Sure,
pretty
right.
pretty adroitly.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Now we've got to clean.
So
We'll
why do
put
you
a
have to
little-
wet your hands now?
Now you have to have a little bit of friction and a little bit of.
Oh, listen to that noise.
Wow, and more than that
Look
is
at
you
the
can see the
water,
water
yeah,
jumping
look at
around.
the water jumping around. Oh, it's really got to jump.
You're
And
really
that's
getting that to
just-
move.
Now, how do you, I can kind of understand the sound, but how are you getting the water to jump?
The same thing. It's the resonance. It's the wave. It's the energy from it. Actually, you can change it.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
And you can kind of see.
There you'll get 8. Sometimes you can
That
get
hurts.
16, but they don't spout up as
Yeah,
much.
but yeah, that one didn't spout up nearly as
No,
much.
but
Yeah.
just the 4 definitely puts all that energy.
Is it the
that
force
wave-
that's going through this?
It's
of the
the,
body right here?
the
So
So if
resonance.
you do
through
that
the-
now and I'm holding this, you get a little sound but no vibrating in the
yeah,
water.
Yeah, you get the
Cool.
bummer trails.
Why did that stop when you held it?
Because I'm actually stopping the vibration of the bowl or more of it.
Okay, yes.
Kind of like a bell. You know, you ring a bell or a cymbal and then you grab the cymbal, throw it,
stops,
and
yeah.
it stops the ringing of it.
Exactly. Want to give it a shot?
Sanitize me up. I'll take some alcohol. Let's do the alcohol.
Either one. We'll go try the sanitizer.
All right.
What the heck?
All right, so
And
yep,
you
I got a
little-
couple paper cuts I can feel.
Oh, that's good for you. Builds
Right.
character.
Right. All right. Let them air out a little bit, right?
Always.
You science guys get really dramatic and right into it. I'm always
Right.
impressed. Excited you get.
There you you go.
You get more coming one way than the other.
I always coming back.
Is he?
seems to
It looks
do.
like he's going a little
that's
more
a different
fast.
tone.
there you
You were a
go.
little looser.
That's a different tone than you had.
Yeah, but you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get a bunch of the little ones, but they don't splash as high because that force is it's a little
Trying to get
less
both going.
and it's being dispersed so much.
That's very cool, Tim.
If
So
you
it
only
is-
do the one side, does it do
No.
any less or more if he only does one side for some reason? Like he doesn't get more action on this side of the.
The hardest part
You
when you
guys
do
working together, it's like an orchestra.
Oh, you got two tones going on there.
the hard part is once it's out of sync.
Now, see, I do this when we go to weddings with the stemware.
Yeah.
You fill a glass and you go around the rim with your fingers and you're doing the same thing, and pretty soon people are like, "Stop! Who's doing that?" Because it's
You know that's a good
Get 'em
question.
ringing.
Why if when you do that, if you have different glasses filled to different heights, you do get different sounds?
You get different sounds, different wavelengths.
so
different.
so the lower the glass has water in it, what the higher the pitch, lower the pitch.
I would think it'd be lower because
so
it'd
now
be a
if
longer
we
frequency.
put less water in this bowl, would it make a different tone?
I've tried that. It makes a little bit different, but what you do is you lose the sight of the. Because if you get too low, then it's just not enough to. Because it's where the bowl curves also is where it's applying all that resonance.
Very cool.
But as long as we're talking about sound, and you talk about things that are annoying.
Yes.
Here we go.
And I don't know if you guys play an instrument,
Sure.
but this is my
do
violin.
not.
A guitar.
But I play a stereo, but you have to show me where the power button is and the volume.
That's
You're aging yourself now. They're
yeah,
iPods.
Well, what are you going to do?
Right.
What we'll do is we'll find the middle of this rod.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do.
And
I
how
said it
did
was
you do
my
that? How do you
violin.
figure the middle of it?
I just put
Whatever
two
it
fingers. You can
balances.
find where it balances, and then you just slide. It's close enough for government work.
Here's another way. If you find if you have a rod, and this
take
is
one.
any kind of long stick, you can take one and you drag one finger. You'll notice how one finger will move, the other one goes, and it keeps going until you get both fingers in the middle, and then you roll over, and there's your center of your rod.
There's
Could you do it with
perfection.
one finger? I don't
Well,
think I could hold it with
you
one
go like
finger.
that.
No,
So
I
you bring your
drop-
fingers in,
Whoa, I'm
and as you
dropping it.
bring them in, it keeps moving back and forth till you get to the center, and there's your center of your rod.
You learn something
Much
new
better
every
this way,
day.
Right. So we all got a
And
rod.
We all
right?
got rod.
Oh, we
now,
need a little
take a little rosin.
rosin. Now this is
and-
just pine tar.
That's just pine tar, amber,
And then I take
whatever
my
it is.
thumb,
It's-
right? Is that what you guys
it's,
do? Yeah. Thumb there.
Give me your fingers there a little bit. There you go.
There you
All
go. And the best part is, that it matches your shirt, so no one's going to notice.
Especially
Now I'm
my
dragging
tie.
my
Still a little
hands.
more. And what you want to do is you'll find the center, and you go across. Now, you want to add a little pressure, but not a lot. And it's
Wow.
Oh wow, you're the man. You really get yours going.
I can't get mine going here.
real light pressure after you get it going.
I am struggling.
Ooh, a little Doppler effect.
Little Doppler effect.
Nice.
Exactly. Now, the Doppler effect,
I can hear
it's
a little.
just like the train.
Yeah.
When you hear the train
Or a
go
car
by,
going by,
or a
honking
car
horn.
honking the horn, goes da da.
He's really showing off.
I know, I
you
can't get
No,
this to work.
I can hear ours slightly, Craig,
maybe a
but
little
I
less
can't.
rosin in it. I'm just guessing.
Oh, I got
Try
too
the
much
other
in?
side.
Well, now I got to rebalance.
Looks like you're going to deep fry that.
That's for dinner, right? Oh, I hit a little bit. Not as much as
Yeah,
yours.
I only can get a little bit.
And you know
too.
what?
And only if I
Try
put my
mine.
ear up to it.
Because the longer ones are a little bit easier than the shorter ones.
Oh, look at you. Show off.
God, you are really good at that, Tim.
Well, I'd like
You've
to
had
say
practice.
it was
Do I have
a
too much
life well
rosin still?
spent. Yeah, maybe a little.
I'm a baseball guy.
Yeah.
I like to
Yeah.
use the rosin.
Well, I got mine
Yeah,
a little bit.
little less pressure.
Yeah, mine's not quite. Well, I can hear a little. I only get a little.
That's cool.
Yeah, I
So
caught
now my question is, these are aluminum. Would it matter if I had a piece of steel or brass or copper?
It would all vibrate. It would probably change the tone.
Okay.
But it would still work just the same. It's just really super heavy. There you go.
Oh, I didn't think that was mine. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Look at that.
that's great.
It's a different tone.
Exactly, and it's because it's a
it's
little bit longer.
Yeah, and
So
these
the
are solid
frequencies-
rods. I mean, it's fully filled. It's
They're
not like
solid.
there's a tube in the middle here.
Exactly.
That would ruin our whole
That's
thing.
very nice.
And the Doppler effect. Doppler effect, by the way, just that, because you have the sound coming out of the ends,
Just
So
that
this
mean
is-
Doppler. I don't even know if I know what that
and
means. What is the Doppler
all it
effect?
is just the sound waves bashing into each other.
You know, is
So
that-
this one only dogs can hear, right?
That's right. You've got some dog outside right now that's going crazy. But you want to make them go crazy. One last thing we've got. Let me get a piece of paper and get a little bit
Wait
wet.
a minute. All right, ahead.
We take a paper cup or a plastic cup, and you put a piece of yarn through the center.
Now this is something you
and
could make right at home, right?
make right at home.
Excellent.
Little paper clip right on that to
See that?
hold it,
It's like
tie
a
it to it.
fuse almost.
And
So why with the water again?
the water just on the cloth, so it grabs a little bit more friction, and it.
Nice.
Like it's
I'm
laughing
glad
with
it worked
you.
because I
It's
didn't
laughing
want to
with you.
lay an egg on TV. Oh, I should have saved that for you, Ed.
Right there.
Oh, there you go. Well done. Well done.
Now, why did that work in that regard?
It's just the resonance through the vibrating of the string in the cup is kind of just your
Now,
dome.
I've done this with my students in school where, back in the day you'd have a cup and you talk in the end, and it doesn't work if the string is dangling like this. So you actually have to taut the
Taunt,
string.
you
Taut
gotta
the
make it
string.
taunt.
And you can talk all the way down to the end of the hallway as long as you've got tension on that. And what
Exact-
would happen with the paper cups, or it would pull through, so we would use coffee cans. And then you can really
Coffee cans.
lean way back on a string and get it really tight.
They use the coffee cans with shoestrings through them to call moose
me
because
try
that's
this.
the same kind of a sound
All right.
as a moose
I
makes.
could probably do this one easier.
You musicians, good too, huh? Yep, well done.
Well done. There you go.
All right, all right.
So it's all resonance. It's all just vibration, which is really pretty cool. Nice job.
You get a multitude of students making these, and then you've got them clucking in your classrooms like that.
Yeah. Then,
Enjoy that. All right.
Excellent, Tim. All right, we'd like to thank you, Tim, for coming in.
Hey,
It was
thanks for
fantastic
having
to show
me.
us some
Great
of
to
these
be
things.
here.
And you guys out there, make sure you stay around. And if you want to learn more about these, you can go to the Rochester Museum and Science Center or head to our website, homeworkhotline.org. Stay right there. We'll be back in a second.